I know I'm very late to the game, and I'm okay with that. And I roll with the punches.
Yeah.
I'm looking for so knowing that I onboarded yesterday, and I'm looking into middle market and obviously regional boutiques right now.
Yeah.
I understand my timeline is pretty short.
Yep.
I have, would you say, October to figure this stuff out?
To like get an internship, you mean?
For middle market.
Oh, for middle market specifically. Usually the way I think about it is like by the end of your first semester of junior year, most of the middle market banks are done recruiting at that point, right? Now, whether like I know you just joined, so like I need to get to like understand your situation better, but I think like if you don't have any relevant experience on your resume yet, for example, then like that's one of the first things that we need to fix, right? Because you can say, like, oh, I'm gonna start like applying to all these middle market banks right now, but like if you have no relevant experience on your resume, like that's just it's not gonna go very far, right? And so like there's like an order of operation in terms of like, hey, you got to try to get at least one relevant experience on your resume. Which like if you go to the application module, like first thing like fix up your resume and your LinkedIn profile. You can skip the cover letter for now, and then there's another training towards the end of the application module where like we show you like how to get your first relevant internship. You can get something like that within like 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm on the 10 commandments right now, but I couldn't listen to both of you at the same time.
So. No worries. That thing's only about an hour long, so you'll be done with that in like no time. And then like right after that, you go to the application module, right? So like if you're like diligent about it, by mid-October or whatever, like you could have this internship lined up, and then at that point you want to put it onto your resume right away. Mm-hmm. You almost have to like
wait, say that again. By mid-October?
Like if things go well, like if you're diligent about it and you're on top of it, and you like, just like don't procrastinate, and like it's possible.
Okay.
Right? I'm just saying like from what we've seen from other students, right? And then like from there, like obviously you need to like be at the internship for at least 2 or 3 months to like actually get the experience, right? But we're gonna like front run it a little bit, meaning like you're not gonna wait until like you finish the internship to like
you put it on the resume immediately.
You're gonna put it on the resume immediately, and then like your bullet points are gonna be more like, I guess, projected. Like this is what I think I'm gonna be doing for the next several months based on your conversation with whoever hired you and the job description and things like that, right? And you want to keep it like high level enough where you don't want to get so specific that you end up cornering yourself. Like if you get an interview and someone has your resume in front of them and they start asking you about this like super specific thing that you wrote about and you actually never did that thing, then like that's when you get in trouble, right? So that's what like you have to do. And so like realistically to do all of that, you're also gonna have to network, right? You have to like network with people to get them to like be willing to interview you. But again, same thing. Like if you start networking right away with like no relevant experience on your resume whatsoever, your response rate is going to be super low. Like most people aren't going to like want to talk to you because like they don't think you're qualified, right? So that's why again, like once you have like at least a little bit of relevant experience on your resume, and we got to see what else you're working with. But like, we just have to put your best and most relevant experiences on your resume for now, and make sure it's formatted nicely, and then like go out there and start applying and networking with that, and then as you're doing that, you're going to get more and more experience. Like your resume is a living document we're going to be constantly updating it, right? As you work on a project, as you help out with a deal, as you're going to constantly be modifying, like, adding and modifying new bullet points. So, we'll see like when you actually land something. I think like basically the way I was thinking about it for you is like between now and the end of your junior year, like before you have all the way up until the summer starts to land something technically, right? It's just that the longer it takes you, the fewer good options there are going to be left, and like the further downstream you're going to have to go to smaller and smaller firms. So like that's why like you have to maintain that sense of urgency. Like from now until I get my summer internship, like I'm not gonna stop, right? I'm gonna like keep doing all the things I should be doing. And like it's gonna be a grind, and it's not gonna be like the funnest period of your college career or whatever. But when you get the job, then you can kind of relax a little bit, right? And then like it's like I was telling Sammy earlier. I don't know if you were on by then, or maybe you just joined after that. There are plenty of people in Wall Street Mastermind that did their junior summer internship at a smaller firm, maybe a regional boutique or middle market bank or whatever, and then like recruited again for full time at the end of your junior summer for like bulge bracket early boutique bank.
Okay, so that was my next question. It doesn't seem like that would have a detrimental impact on your chance of getting a decent career in a bulge bracket.
Well, I don't want to say like there's no impact, right? Like it's easier to get into a bulge bracket early boutique bank through the summer internship than like to have to recruit for it during full time, right? Like the fact of the matter is when you recruit for these firms full time, you are fighting for the last remaining spots that have not already been given to the returning summer interns. So like if there were 10 jobs available in the class, 8 or 9 of them might have already been given the summer interns, right? Like if anyone doesn't accept an offer, or if some interns just like didn't pan out, like they weren't very good over the summer, so they didn't get a return offer, like that's when they're going to go out and actually like hire someone for full time, right? So I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, oh no, like there's no difference. Like there's a difference, but I am just saying like it's not like, hey, bulge bracket and like boutique banks are like out of the question for you, right? For now, you just got to focus on the immediate next step in front of you, which is get the best junior summer internship you can. And even after you get the junior summer internship, because I think like your resume, if it's like a little bit lighter on experience, you can still do like, I mean, you should try to do at least 2 internships throughout your junior year, like during the school year, right? Because then like by the time you get to the end of your junior summer, like whatever shape your resume is in at that time, that's what you're going to be recruiting with for full time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So like,
so I would start full-time recruiting in August of my senior year.
that's when like most of the interviews, like, because like, you know, the firms are going to wait until they know who got return offers from their summer class first to know how many spots they even have to fill to determine if they're even going to recruit for full time. But if you're going to recruit for full time, you're not going to wait until and like those internships end in like early August, right? But you're not going to wait until early August to start recruiting for that. Like most likely, what you will do if you know you're not planning on staying at your summer internship and or the same firm that you intern at, and you know you're going to want to recruit for full time, you're probably going to start networking like in advance of that, right? Like you can start building those connections, and then like no one's going to be able to like tell you with certainty that yeah, we'll have a spot, or no, we won't have a spot when it comes to August. But that's not the point. The point is that you're going to build those relationships first, and then when August rolls around, you're going to check back in with them, and if they like you, then like, you know, they'll be willing to help you, right? You just want to stay on their radar, basically. But you have to like cast as wide of a net as possible, because you don't know ahead of time which groups are actually going to have openings. Notice I said which group, not which firm. I didn't say like is Goldman Sachs on a hire. Like one group at Goldman Sachs might have one opening, and then like the other group might have none, right? And so like if you only network with people from one group and not the other group, that might not be the group that ends up hiring, right? So you almost like for full-time recruiting, you almost have to treat every single group within each bank as like their own boutique bank, almost like it's a separate entity for recruiting purposes. Does that make sense?
That all makes sense. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Hey, if you like this video, click the like button and hit subscribe to get more content like this.